tight and weak demand that would normally pull prices down. James Flippin for 77 WABC News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Maybe you haven't heard about us. We're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless has you paying for more data than you might need. Why? They might want you to cover the cost of younger people who do use all that data. If you're not using the data, you're probably being used. Big Wireless customers get stuck paying hundreds and even thousands for years and years because they think it's hard to switch. Not with us. It takes just about 20 minutes, and you can change your plan anytime without extra charges. We use the same towers as the big guys, so you'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the wireless bill.
Our plans start at just $20 a month, and for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Know about you, but I am planning to stream and run.
He's back on the Mike Levin Radio Show.
This is the best of Mark Levin. Happy Thanksgiving. Right now in Ukraine, too many elderly are trapped in unbearable poverty. Galina is a 96-year-old Holocaust survivor who spent her entire life in the same village, except for the time she was in a concentration camp. She's sick and alive. Today, like every day, she must decide whether to spend what little money she has on food, medication, or heating. The Bible tells us that when you bless the elderly living in poverty, like Jelena, a Holocaust survivor, you
look at Jibu.
blessings in return. Through the International Fellowship of Christians, your generous donations, you can bring hope to those in need. It's a blessing. Your gift, which is tax deductible, only $25, will help provide a food box packed full of life-saving essentials that will help feed an elderly person in Ukraine struggling to survive. Don't delay, folks.
Look at Jibu.
Give today to the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. That'll help provide the life-saving food and hope that Galina and many like her so desperately need.
Look all these boxes of cookies I got, Jibu. Jibu, look all these boxes of cookies I got. Oh, yeah, you see that?
Please help them. 844-866-IFC. For the fellowship.org. LEVIN for the fellowship.org. As applies to Trump, the Epstein thing is just another attempt to destroy him. And you can see all the reprobates in Congress that are involved in this. They're not interested in getting to the bottom of anything. Let's see here. What did I do with this? Oh my goodness. What did I do with the report here? Oh, bear with me, folks. I'm going to go back and dig it up because I want to finish it for you. All right. Let's see. There it is.
So now we're going to eat another golden delicious apple.
Outstanding piece in the New York Post.
You see that? Golden, yellow golden delicious apple.
It's a long piece.
You see that? Golden, yellow golden.
We talked about thing with Nazis from overseas. They're very dangerous people. May have been heavily criticized after the Parkland school shooting because the FBI failed to act after being repeatedly warned about the shooter, Nicholas Cruz, that he had guns, had threatened people with behavior, and might carry out a school shooting. Was Ray trying to avoid being blamed for another atrocity on his watch? Is that why he downplayed, she asked, Trump's injury when he testified to Congress a week after Butler, and falsely suggested the now president had not been struck by a bullet, but by shrapnel from his podium? That the Secret Service had become aware of Crook's anti-Trump rhetoric in 2020 during Trump's
Oh yeah, look at this golden delicious
protocol
apple.
is that it would have determined if he was a threat and offloaded to the FBI to take over the investigation. We don't know what happened. Because the Secret Service after action report is. I don't hear Congress demanding that be declassified. The only bodies that could look at it are the intelligence committees in Congress, which so far have shown little curiosity. Yep. The criminal investigation of a presidential assassination falls under the jurisdiction of the FBI. Therefore, any comments on the subject would come from the Bureau. Requests for information from the FBI by Senator Johnson have been rebuffed. Although I would say I saw Johnson interview was very supportive of Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. Johnson had to issue a subpoena in July on the first anniversary of the Butler attack and complained that he'd been stonewalled. I think he means stonewalled rather, by the FBI and Secret Service in his efforts to request security camera footage, forensic reports, other documents related to the Crooks case. Trump and those close to him were skeptical about the official story and questioned of the impoverished parents of Crooks who had to ask for money from neighbors to pay for their son's funeral. Could afford to hire a white shoe law firm, Quinn Loeb, out of Pittsburgh. It's hard to believe the FBI under Secret Service missed Crooks. The question is, what did they do about him? Well, this certainly opens up a massive need for humanity.
This is a good apple.
To find out what the hell is going on.
Yellow, golden, delicious.
Go through these cover-ups. And then we have these kooks with these conspiracy theories. The one that it's Israel and the Mossad, right, Mister? You hear that one, Mr. Wittes? It's always Israel and the Mossad, you know. And so you got to hear that crap. But there's something going on here. There's clearly a cover-up, in my view. And you know, folks, I don't talk about cover-ups very easily. I don't think this is a conspiracy theory that Miranda is promoting here. Really outstanding piece of investigative journalism. She has sources and so forth who've come to her. Others do as well.
So, Jibu, what's on your mind today, Jibu?
This thing was botched. There's a cover-up.
Jibu!
So I'll be waiting for Thomas Massey and Marjorie Trader Green, and I'll be waiting for all the Democrats in the House and the Senate, as well as the Republicans, to demand the release of the Crooks files.
What's on your mind today, Jibu?
The release of the Crooks files. Let's see how fast that cuts through the House and the Senate like crap like this, huh? I'll be right back.
You're listening to the #1 Nielsen rated, The Mark Levin Show. Thank you for listening. 77 WABC.
That's right, I said it.
New York. Now, here's Mark Levin.
One important thing that can be done to counter Mondami and his hordes of comrades, illegal aliens, radical Islamists, and their ilk is to elect a solid person as governor in this cycle. Hochul endorsed Mondami. She owns him. Better put, he owns her. There's going to need to be somebody in Albany who's going to use all the powers that the governor has, that the state constitution has, to try and block him, or slow him down, or defeat him as he tries to destroy New York City. I really believe that's Elise Stefanik. It is my deepest hope that she will soon announce and run for governor of New York. That's right, I said it.
New York.
This is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York, WRCR Hattershaw, 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour.
77 WABC News starts now.
Partly cloudy skies on this Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, November 27th. Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Ritchie. The 99th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade marched down Fifth Avenue today to the delight of spectators.
I've watched the Macy's Day Parade since I was a little girl. This is my bucket list thing.
Oh, you didn't watch the
There were 11.
you didn't watch the Thanksgiving Day parade that they had in New York, Jibu?
The festivities up. The shooting of 2 National Guard members on the streets of Washington, D.C. is being investigated as an act of terrorism.
You totally missed the Thanksgiving Day parade, Jibu.
As we stand here today, the charges that are appropriate right now are 3 counts of assault with intent to kill while armed.
National Guard members, 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom and 24-year-old Andrew Wolf, remain in critical condition. The suspect has been identified as a 29-year-old Afghan national. CIA Director John Radcliffe said the suspect worked with the agency in Afghanistan. There's renewed speculation fueled by Andrew Cuomo himself about his political future. Flippin reports.
In a letter to political donors following his loss to Zohran Mamdani for mayor, former Governor Cuomo wrote, "The campaign may be over, but our work is not. I'm not going anywhere." He cited his commitment to fighting anti-Semitism and to improving public safety. Cuomo also told former Governor Patterson in an interview on our airwaves this week, "You can win a city as a socialist, but you can't win a state." Some are speculating that Cuomo may be looking to run for Congress or maybe governor again after being forced to resign in 2021 following sexual harassment allegations. James Flippin for 77 WABC News.
Manhattan Councilwoman Julie says she has more than enough votes to become New York City's next council speaker. Menon, an Upper East Sider, is announcing that she's gotten public commitments from 36 current and incoming council members, 10 more than is needed. If elected, Menon would be the city's first Jewish woman to serve as council speaker. An 18-year-old Long Island girl was shot and killed just after 11 a.m. Wednesday in a home on Shenandoah Boulevard in Nesconset, leaving neighbors stunned.
It was a shock. I know the kids, basically a quiet neighborhood. Everybody gets along. I mean, that's all I know.
Police say the victim's 17-year-old former boyfriend pulled the trigger and then shot himself. Cops said the girl, who had just returned home from college, wanted to talk to her ex in person, so she dropped by his house. He is in custody, recovering from surgery. Our traditional Thanksgiving meal has turkey as the star, but things were very different during the first one in 1621. Bree Tennis explains.
The Pilgrims started Thanksgiving as an act of faith, showing gratitude for survival. Cultural historians say the first Thanksgiving was a 3-day party with the Wampanoag tribe celebrating a good harvest. No turkey on the table then. They ate venison, mussels, clams, lobster, and corn, which is also good. Turkey hit the table in the mid-19th century because it was cheap and big enough to feed a crowd. I'm Bree Tennis.
Security experts are warning people to watch out for shopping scams. Online scams are on the rise. McAfee online expert Amy Bunn says more and more people are worried about AI playing a part than ever before.
But a really supercharged space by AI. And so that means that they're at a size and a scale and a sophistication that maybe we haven't seen before.
AI is taking deep fake celebrity endorsements on fake shopping sites to the next level. Bunn also warns us to make sure that the website you're using is legit. Some of your favorite stores in Manhattan are closing up shop after this holiday season. Joe Connolly has more.
H&M will close 2 large Manhattan stores, the downtown H&M on Church Street and the one on East 86th. The Saks Off Fifth store on East 57th Street will be replaced by a Chelsea Piers Fitness. The Post also reports the future of the famed Roosevelt Hotel is uncertain. It's empty again in the East 40s, where businesses have moved to new office developments near Grand Central Terminal. Joe Connolly, 77 WABC News.
77 WABC is partnering with Shriners Children's for Giving Tuesday on December 2nd. This Giving Tuesday, there's a cash challenge. Every dollar you give today through Giving Tuesday will have 3 times the impact to help more kids. Shriners cares for over 146,000 children every year. To make a donation now, call 1-800-276 8007, or go online to loveshriners.org to give. That's loveshriners.org. In sports, the Knicks will be without Landry Shamet for at least the next 4 weeks as he recovers from a shoulder sprain. The guard got hurt during a weekend matchup against the Magic when he ran into another player setting a screen. Your forecast tonight was clear to partly cloudy, a little windy and colder, below 31 degrees. Tomorrow for Black Friday, partly sunny skies, but still windy with a high of 42. Saturday calling for bright sunshine and a high of 43. And to round out your weekend on Sunday, cloudy skies, occasional rain and drizzle later in the day with a high of 52. Partly cloudy outside of our Midtown studios. I'm Lisa Ritchie. Remember, the news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
An official message from Medicare. A couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one.
That's important.
So is saving money. Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. You'll find exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X914 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 50% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Broadcasting from the underground command post. Deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
This is the best of Mark Levin. Happy Thanksgiving. Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811. Anyway, I'm going to read something to you. See if I can find it. Sure I can. Sent to me by my buddy Cal Thomas. Really fine man. New York Post today. Qatar is pumping tens of billions of dollars into universities to help the Muslim Brotherhood weaken the United States and destroy democracy. What's it going to take, folks? I've been banging the pots and pans and banging the pots and pans. What do I got to do? Look back 10 years from now, all of us together as a country, and say, gee, I wonder how this happened. You know, it reminds me of late May and early June when I was warning people about Carlson and Owens and Bannon, warning people about them. Silence, 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 and now people see what's going on. This Qatar thing, Saudi Arabia, but particularly Qatar, it's really stunning to me the extent to which we're blinded by what they're doing. This is the New York Post. It's not me, but it could be me. Qatar has allegedly pumped more than $20 billion into American colleges and other top institutions as part of the Muslim Brotherhood's decades-long plan to infiltrate the United States and destroy democracy from within. The leading research institute warns, while adding that the nefarious funding could be staggeringly higher. Okay? Okay? The Qatar Foundation, which is bankrolled by the country's ruling royal family, has apparently been injecting tens of billions of dollars into institutions to help the Sunni Islamist group carve out toeholds in the educational system. And that is, let's see here, stick with me. According to a new report by the Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy. You know, we ignore this at our own peril, and we see what's going on in our schools and colleges and in our streets. What else is needed to prove the point? How does a foreign government get to pour this? The anti-Semites will go on AIPAC, 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 AIPAC. But a stadium full of people all buying hot dogs, okay? That's Qatar. APAC would be, you go there, you order a hot dog, you put a little mustard on it. That's the mustard. I mean, these countries are spending tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars to destroy our country. They do not share our belief system. The royal family Qatar is a bayah, a spiritual oath to the Muslim Brotherhood. So they're pumping in many, many billions of dollars into our universities, K through 12 schools and cultural institutions, using influence and soft power to promote its ideology. Dr. Charles Asher Small, executive director of the group, claimed in an interview with the New York Post. Well, they've got the receipts to prove it. They certainly do. Cornell University over the years, Small alleged, with smaller amounts doled out to schools such as Georgetown, Texas A&M, and Brown University. This is the tip of the iceberg, Small. Some, he estimates, could be at least $100 billion. Now they're throwing around $1 trillion. And own America, 100 billion is nothing to these people. Universities so far, they've looked at a few universities and they count $20 billion. A medical school in Qatar that has seen roughly 600 graduates from 50 countries across Asia and the Middle East, and that the money remains in Qatar, a spokesperson insisted. Telling you. Budgeted funding for the medical school in Qatar is averaged to 2025, totaling $2.2 billion. Virtually all funding remains in Qatar for the Weill Cornell Medicine Qatar School operations, they average. Nice. We are proud to be educated and trained doctors and scientists in patient care. Down has received over $1 billion in funds from Qatar, education in the social sciences, Middle East studies, of course, and funding of the most important diplomatic training program in the U.S., if not the world. It's a very impactful use of soft power, he said. Georgetown did not respond to requests for comment. Good Lord, and we let this go on. They own half of Congress. The administration promotes this stuff. The media, got media that go over there and slobber at the public trough. Businessmen all over the place. The group also discovered $1.3 billion had been given to Texas A&M by Qatar. Following years of searching, Small said the group found a contract between the Qatar Foundation and the university agreeing to fund over 500 research projects. In 2003. Now the contract ceded all intellectual property rights to the foundation, that is to Qatar. And the school confirmed in a statement to the Post, adding that the faculty and the IP are appropriately compensated. So whatever's developed belongs to Qatar. Faculty would create intellectual property at Texas and A&M at Qatar. 0.5% of the net licensing revenue from the IP, the statement said. The remaining is distributed 33.3% to the Qatar Foundation, 29.2% to Texas A&M in Qatar to reinvest in research. Of these, 58 projects have dual use for military purposes, and dozens, it just goes on and on. The amount of money that these Arab countries, particularly a handful of them, are pouring into our country, into our institutions, it's just staggering. Why, in many respects, Israel just doesn't have a chance. Not a shot. No way. But this, to me, is just, I want to thank the New York Post. But that's okay. Bannon will back Israel no matter what, right? What's that cut, number 6, Mr. Producer? Just to remind our audience. Go.
What do you think about foreign aid to Israel? Is it a strategic partnership? Israel is a partner of the United States. But the people in Israel got to understand something.
number one enemy to the people in Israel are American Jews that do not support Israel and do not support MAGA. Okay, MAGA and the evangelical Christians and the traditional Catholics in this country have Israel's back. They have the Jews back. The biggest single enemy to the Jewish people are not the Islamic supremacists. The biggest enemy you have is inside the wire. Progressive Jewish billionaires that are funding all this stuff. They are the number one enemy, and people in Israel have to set that right. Because MAGA has your back, traditional Catholics have your back, and evangelical Christians have your back. We will always have the back of Israel. But I gotta tell you, you have an enemy inside the wire.
MAGA has your back. Now, MAGA does, actually. When they do the polls on MAGA, Israel was very strongly pro-Israel in its war with Iran, and very strongly pro-American use of our bombers to take out those nuclear sites. So MAGA is that. Bannon is not. And neither is the rest of his ilk. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
27.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-579-9068. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-579-9068. That's 800-579-9068. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now, the latest from the 77 WABC Newsroom.
That's the sound of the hottest sport in the country, pickleball. And while it might seem innocent enough with its paddles and small colored, it look like it's a sport for everyone because there are waiting lists and long lines, but maybe it's really an extreme sport. Getting hit by a pickleball is no joke. According to a study in 2024, pickleball-related eye injuries resulted in 1,200 people visiting the emergency room, and 70% of those were over the age of 50. NBC medical correspondent Dr. John Torres tells the Today Show, you've got to take your age and reflexes seriously when you're on the court.
As we get older, your reaction speed, your coordination go down.
And then you use your energy through it, and pickle, you have to have urgency on the front side, then your blood pressure has to go down when you hit it.
The sport has grown 223%. With players of all ages participating. Remember, you've got to stretch, watch your partner, and watch.
But they have to be impact resistant.
Hi, I'm George, an economics major at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Dr. Larry Arnn with the Constitution Minute.
The Declaration of Independence is more than a bold letter to a British king.
Talk radio's Peanut Hitter. Believe what I say or I'll hurt you.
Independence is more than a bold letter to a British king.
Talk radio's Peanut Hitter. Believe what I say or I'll hurt you. Hurt you. Mark Levin. Mark Levin. He's on the radio. Hurt you. Mark Levin. Mark Levin. He's on the radio.
Happy Thanksgiving. Elizabeth Warren. He's a complete nut job. Here's what she had to say today. Go.
J.P. Morgan Chase is Jeffrey Epstein's bank, a close personal relationship that spans years. I mean, ask yourself, shouldn't this be in the J.P. Morgan Chase advertisement? How long they served Jeffrey Epstein long after his criminal conviction for sexual misconduct with underage girls. about 134 different accounts for Jeffrey Epstein over these years. They did more than $1 billion in transactions for Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, they had a $50 million line of credit. He literally could walk into the bank and get $50 million from J.P. Morgan Chase. So what I'd like to do over on the banking committee is I'd like to have Mr. Diamond and some of those other bankers come in and under oath testify about exactly what the financial trail is that kept Jeffrey Epstein afloat for so long.
Can I ask you folks a question? Why is she waiting until now to do this, Mr. Producer? They controlled the Senate for years, the House and the White House. Why just now? I mean, she'd be more credible if she'd been fighting for this. And suddenly she said, I'm on the banking committee, and what I would like to do is, I don't care if they do that, fine by me, but that's not my point. My point is, what's the sudden epiphany here? By the way, I'm reading a great book. Mr. Producer, if you can grab a book. There's no room between them, no space. Go ahead.
And my team and my family, but I think I'm just continually stunned by the fact that I'm worried about it is because the Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, has called for my death.
Stop. The Commander-in-Chief, who you said should be ignored by the military. You called for effectively an insurrection. You encouraged individuals in the military to usurp the President of the United States. That is enormously dangerous because that could also lead to violence, and the man was almost assassinated twice. Almost twice. And you talk like this about the president, you talk about these things, and he lashes back, and now you're the victim? Well, why'd you start the whole thing would be my question. Go ahead.
Thing that should just be chilling for everybody, and everybody should be worried about their safety in this nation when the president can wield that sort of
No, I'm worried about my safety in this nation because of the neo-Nazis, the Islamists, and the Marxists. That's why I'm worried about my safety. And I have a legitimate reason, I won't get into all of it, to be worried about my safety. And no, Megyn Kelly, if something happens to me, I don't think it's your fault. It doesn't get any lower than that. You have become just sick, pathetic. But there's a lot of people out there who have to worry about their safety now, unfortunately. And Charlie Kirk was one of them, and he even had a phalanx of security guards who couldn't save his life. Because if somebody wants to take you out, they're going to take you out. That's what I've figured out. I mean, I won't get into it, but it is something to worry about. So, go ahead with the clip, please. She's done. She finished.
Hey, Jibu!
She's not alone.
Jibu, did you fall asleep?
Mark Kelly, cut 3, go.
The way, I don't think there's anything more American or patriotic than standing with the Constitution. We're a country of laws. If anybody in the chain of command, anybody asks you to do something that's illegal, not only...
Yeah, I thought you fell asleep.
This guy doubles down. Somebody asks you to do something that's illegal or unconstitutional. Okay. So millions of people...
Yeah, my stream ran into difficulties and it knocked me offline for about 5 minutes before I realized it. Before I realized that it knocked me offline and I had to reconnect. And when I reconnected, it got me back on where I left off.
Newsmax 2, and you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbee, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds.
What are
to
you
start.
falling asleep from eating so much? I've been eating all day, man. All day. I've been nothing but eating.
Real people. Make the switch today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your
Look how many cookies I got left to eat, man. Look at all these cookies.
Friendly live agent. Donation super easy. Picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
This is John Katsuchi. Starting off as a small businessman, I never had a fancy ad agency. I did it the way I had to do it. We have been certified by Nielsen to be the #1 talk station in the country. Advertising? If you advertise with WABC, you will be a winner too. Why don't you email me?
I'm all cookied out. I'm all turkeyed out. I got too much turkey. I had too much potato salad, macaroni salad, coleslaw. I didn't even touch my ribs. I didn't touch any of my barbecue ribs with that honey glazed sauce. I didn't touch my meat and cheese lasagna. So much food I didn't even touch.
1984 to 1986, Miami back then, cartels were very strong. And when you landed at Miami International, I gave you a kilogram of coke and a 9mm.
I put it all back into my refrigerator.
And that was an eye-opener for me, because coming out of New York, they can get you drugs, but everybody couldn't get you drugs. And a lot of times we'd go out there and the guy would promise that I can get you an ounce of heroin, half a kilo of cocaine, and you'd be there 5, 6, 7 hours.
I just drank a liter of water, of spring water. And the liter of spring water I drank, the 1 liter of spring water that I drank it in one shot. In one shot, I drank 1 liter of spring water.
I'm Dominic Carter, President Trump once again calling out Chicago and its leaders over crime in the city.
It's on the front page of every newspaper. It's out of control. The mayor is incompetent and the governor is a big fat slob. He ought to invite us in, say, please make Chicago safe.
Crime dominating politics the last few days and how elected officials respond. Also in Chicago, the viral video of a pregnant mother recovering after she was attacked by elementary school kids and punched repeatedly in the face. One of the children now apologizing.
I want your bro. And I was just near the power. Calling everybody who don't even got nothing and I got and I apologize.
There's also the issue of how will Mayor-elect Mamdani deal with crime now only a month away from office. The horrible incident in our backyard in Queens under investigation by the NYPD. Channel 4 quoting council member Vicky Palladino. Cars doing donuts in the middle of the street, and it turned ugly.
She shared these videos on her social media showing more than 50 cars gathering near 141st Street and Boulevard. Blake was jumped, kicked, and punched in front of his wife. She tried to push people off of him.
Fractured nose, fractured shoulder, fractured bone in my face, a few fractured ribs, and this fracture in my neck with the cartilage, and I'm lucky to be standing here.
And that's politics for this week. See you on the radio.
Mark Levin. He sounds like he's strong on the Mark Levin Radio Show.
This is Mark Levin wishing you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. Now back to the festive meat.
This is Liberty 911 Hotline. The Mark Levin Show. Call him now at 877-381-3811.
Mike Johnson on Capitol Hill yesterday. response to all this from the Democrats. Obviously, the Epstein thing is dying, so now they got to grab onto the next thing. Cut 2, go.
The words that the president chose are not the ones that I would use, okay? Obviously, I don't think that this is, these are crimes punishable by death or any of that, okay? But what the point that we need to emphasize here is that members of Congress and the Senate and House should not be telling troops to disobey orders. It is dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I agree with everything you just said there. I really do. But they're going to blow them off. They're going to blow them off. Now we have this Phyllis McCormick. That's right, I said it. Democrat Florida on Capitol Hill yesterday. She and others have been indicted for alleged $5 million in fraud on FEMA funds and so forth. This is shocking. Cut 13, go.
It's all from the indictment, please. Well, it's an unjust indictment, and it seems like his intimidation tactics have been produced.
Why are they intimidation tactics? I mean, here's the thing, folks. It's like with the mortgage stuff with Letitia James and Adam Schiff and these sorts of things. Did they sign these documents in violation of the law or not? This isn't complicated stuff. $5 million moved around, hidden, so forth, and so that's not complicated stuff either. You either did it or you didn't do it. And so now they have all this retribution, and this is part of a pattern, and this, that, and the other thing. It's amazing. Now, how many Democrats have come out and condemned this McCormick and asked for her to resign? None. We're going to wait till the process works out. Go ahead.
They're getting censured, all in hopes of intimidating and kind of distracting from the Epstein files. And I look forward to my day.
Oh, the Epstein files. I see. And what exactly is in the Epstein files? What's in the Epstein files? Nothing related to Trump in any notorious or untoward way. Nothing. Zero. Take attention from the Epstein files. So these fools talk about are the Epstein files. Go ahead.
Myself to actually state the truth, but if this is what Congress is becoming, where they're always trying to intimidate you, scare tactics, especially attacking.
Nobody's trying to intimidate you. The question on the table is whether you're a crook, whether you stole money from the American taxpayers. I'm sure Mondani will be very worried about that, Mr. Producer, because he's going to be a great steward of the tax dollar there in New York. You know, he'll be great at it. I want to read you something that is in the City Journal. It's a great publication. Teaching terrorism in American classrooms. The California nonprofits teach Palestine lessons, smuggle pro-terrorist propaganda into K through 12 schools. Sometimes you want to throw your arms up and just forget about it, right, Rich? Let me go just have a spaghetti and meatball dinner. Let me be done with this. With a little garlic bread, if you don't mind. No cheese. I'm lactose intolerant. Maybe a Diet Coke. No, I'd have to do all this. But I'd have to convince my wife first to let me do it. She actually wants me to live. It's the craziest damn thing. Stop eating that stuff. Oh, okay. Should American K through 12 students be taught without informing their parents to sympathize with terrorists? Of course not. But that's exactly what's happening in K through 12 schools across the country. I already told you about Qatar spending tens of billions of dollars. And really, I feel the administration should do more. The Republicans in Congress should do more to put an end to this. To just stop it. But it's going on thanks to instructional material supplied by the California-based nonprofit Middle East Children's Alliance, MECA. Isn't that clever, Mr. Producer? MECA. And unearthed by Defending Education. MECA's Teach Palestine lesson plans reach up to 160,000 American teachers. Go on to share those materials with young, impressionable students. You wonder why we have these people in the streets? You wonder why we have people who are susceptible to little Adolf and Carlson and people of that sort. The curriculum distributed under the auspices of both Rethinking Schools and the Zinn Education Project, that's a dead giveaway right there, a so-called progressive nonprofit publisher and advocacy organization, respectively, whitewashes Hamas terrorism and promotes anti-American narratives, much like Mamdani, by the way, our new friend. Forget reading, science, and arithmetic. The new fundamentals are revolution, systems of oppression, and anti-Semitism. That sounds familiar. California's Sequoia Union High School District, an ethnic studies teacher whose 2023 lessons on the Israel-Gaza war sparked widespread community backlash, attended an in-person Mecca event, quote, Palestine in our classrooms, unquote, in January 2024, which focused on, quote, building content knowledge about Palestine, including history and culture, and providing pedagogical approaches and resources. Pedagogical. An email invitation from organizers noted that Palestine is not just the subject of an ongoing colonial project. No, it's a rich and beautiful culture that should be shared. And in the face of ongoing domestic attacks against the inclusion of Palestine in K-12 curriculum and instruction, we believe we must also practice resistance, resilience, and sumud in our dedication to bring Palestine into our classrooms. God forbid. We're going to be building tunnels in our classroom, Mr. Medusa? What are we going to do? In Arlington Public Schools in Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C., Arlington, you know where the Pentagon is based, a teacher's assignment accused Israel of genocide, much like Mamdani today, our new friend, and asked students leading questions like, how does Israel use the Holocaust to victimize themselves? Show an example of a logical fallacy. Now, the neo-Nazis are really into this of late. The lessons brought the teacher into conflict with school administrators, one of whom asked her how the material corresponded with the state's English language art standard. But don't worry, we have a brand new government coming in Virginia, a radical left-wing Democrat who pretends to be a moderate, a true Islamist in a dress who's going to be the lieutenant governor, and some head case psychopath who's going to be the attorney general. If you had two bullets, wouldn't you shoot the former speaker? Oh, yes. Would it be Mao, Hitler, Stalin, or the former speaker? The former speaker, of course. He got elected. Now, this teacher shared Mecca links on all staff listserv, encouraging others to use the organization's material. Portland, the Portland Association of Teachers and Oregon Educators for Palestine. Oregon Educators for Palestine. They encourage members to use Teach Palestine resources in their Know Your Rights Guide, published in May 2024. You know, it'd be better if we just closed down all the damn public schools. Oh, what would they learn? They wouldn't learn this. A Chicago area teacher led an effort to get the National Education Association to rescind its endorsement of President Biden because of his support for Israel, such as it was. Recommended her school use Teach Palestine resources, as well as those of American Muslims for Palestine, an organization under investigation by the state of Virginia. Earlier this year, a report by the Network Contagion Research Institute, NCRI, revealed multiple points of contact between Mecca and radical terrorist organizations. Mecca's director of Gaza programming once served as deputy director of the Union of Healthcare Worker Committees, recognized by USAID in 1993 as a smokescreen for the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. That's a terrorist organization. Hello. A U.S.-designated foreign terrorist organization. Mecca's founder reportedly conducted meetings with Laila Khalid, a PFLP member, perhaps better known for her role in two airplane hijacking. What the hell is going on here? But it's the Jews, right, Tucker? Oh, yeah. That's them, you know. Trying to get us into wars. Ladies and gentlemen, the enemy within is here, and it's not the enemy. It's the enemies within are here, and they are ensconced. They are spreading the poison. We're allowing these frauds, phonies, and fools To direct our attention elsewhere, Mecca's tax filings raise similar red flags. Over the last 37 years, it has sent donations to this Palestinian Front Liberation Organization and their unions and groups known for openly glorifying terrorism in our own country, in our own school system. For the domestic front, Mecca has allegedly partnered with U.S.-based extremist groups, including Shut It Down for Palestine, allegedly receiving $100,000 from Fergie Chambers, a self-declared far-left militant. Parents everywhere should be made aware that nonprofits like Mecca are far from a benign force in education. Indeed, they're actively working to unravel America's social fabric and misleading children. School administrators should exercise greater oversight of the materials, no question about that. We're judged by the company we keep. Nonprofits that maintain relationships like these with terrorist groups should not be allowed to teach children in America's schools. By Nicole Niley, she's president and founder of Defending Education in the City Journal. I'm telling you, folks, this is all around us. This is going on. Nobody's paying attention to it but me. Right now in Ukraine, there are many, many elderly people who are trapped in unbearable poverty. Galina is a 96-year-old Holocaust survivor who has spent her life in the same village, other than in concentration camps. She's sick, she's alone, and now the bitter winter cold, she's having to deal with that. And today, like every day, she has to decide whether to spend what little money she has on food, medication, or heating. She needs all to survive, you know. The Bible tells us when you bless elderly people living in poverty, like Jelena, a Holocaust survivor, you will receive blessings in return. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews and your generous tax-deductible donation, and these are critical donations, you can bring hope to those in need. And your gift of just $25 will help provide a food box packed full of life-saving essentials that will help feed an elderly senior who's struggling to survive. Really, folks, don't delay your gift today. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews will provide the life-saving food and hope that Julene and others, many lifers who desperately need. So rush your gift, please. It'll be used immediately. Call 844-866-IFCJ this Thanksgiving. Just keep this in mind, please. 844-866-IFCJ, 844-866-IFCJ. You can go online to levinforthefellowship.org, Levin for thefellowship.org. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
27 WABC.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. You'll find exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 50% off. That's Lenovo.com.
An official message from Medicare. Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So we spend money. Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Now, the latest from the 77 WABC newsroom.
It's a new day, and there's a new mayor of New York City. Come January 1st, 34-year-old 12-year-old Zohran Mamdani will be Mayor Mamdani, beating out Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa. He held a news conference in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, 12 hours after he won, in front of the 12-foot-tall steel globe.
I'm so proud to be standing here today as the mayor-elect of the greatest city in the world. Over 2 million New Yorkers cast their ballots. Whether they were the more than million who supported this campaign or the others who supported someone else, or whether they felt too disappointed by the political process to participate at all, I will work every day to honor the trust that I now hold.
Mamdani, a Democrat socialist, was still pounding his chest when it came to his victory and the way Republicans reacted.
Scares Republicans across the country is the fact that we will actually deliver on this agenda. And the contrast is something that they cannot bear to witness.
Many in politics will tell you Mamdani ran a great campaign. From his boundless energy, his smile, to his social media, to getting younger New Yorkers excited about his campaign promises.
What left me with such great hope last night, stories from so many New Yorkers who had never voted, who had lost hope in politics years ago. And to stand here before you, having received over 1 million votes in an election that saw turnout the likes of which we haven't seen since 1969, it shows that politics, once again, is offering more.
Mamdani said he's working for all voters, including those who didn't support him.
What will unite them will be a commitment to solving old problems with new solutions.
And he had a message for the people of New York.
I will work every day to honor the trust that I now hold. The hard work of improving New Yorkers' lives starts now.
Lisa G, 77 WABC News.
Every day I hear from Americans who feel like they're losing their voice, frustrated that their values are being ignored or erased. That's you. Let me tell you something that you can do right now. Join AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. AMAC isn't just another group. It's a powerful community built on faith, family, and common sense. They're standing in the gap, giving millions of Americans the tools to stay informed, engaged, and prepared. Members get real, practical benefits, unbelievable discounts on insurance, travel, and retail, plus access to exclusive resources in the AMAC magazine, which is truly one of the best publications out there. And for a limited time, you can join free for 90 days, no credit card required, no strings attached. Just a chance to see what the Association of Mature American Citizens is all about for free. So go to amac.us/Levin right now. That's amac.us/LEVIN. Take the first step to make your voice matter again. That's amac.us/LEVIN.
Now, for radio sensation that's sweeping the nation.
Fight you, devil.
Mark Levin.
You're listening to the best of the Mark Levin Show. Happy Thanksgiving.
I learned from the best. I mean, Hannity, that's why, like, if he called or his team called, I would always go on for them. And then, Levin's another one. Like, if Mark Levin, the godfather of the movie, he asks you to come on, you just do it, like, out of respect. You don't say, Mark, hold on, I got a pizza down. You just do it.
No.
You show up. And you show
I
up.
have no relationship with him. Yeah.
I just couldn't earlier. That was the only reason.
I have this like crush from afar on Mark Levin. I've always loved him. I agree with Sean that he's the great one. I listen to everything he says. I read his books. But like he only really likes the true believers, and I've always been just more of a journalist who's like, let me hear both sides. So I don't think I'm his number one favorite, but I secretly from afar and